Tonight on the A-Zone, we're going to be talking about camera setups, practical shooting footwear, and different types of range surfaces. And we'll be talking about our division of choice if money were no object. So to start us
Ooh.
off, I think we can just go around and talk about our preferred camera for recording ourselves, I guess both in practice and at matches. So Matt, I'm calling on you.
Oh shit. All right. Typically when I use
You don't know what
cameras,
cameras you use?
yeah, right. I have X camera from X brand that was made in China. Blah 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 blah. So third person cam, I pretty much just use my phone. Simple enough. It's modern enough that I can get 1080p video, which is pretty much all you want. And then for any first person stuff, Connor and I both happen to use a similar cam. This is the Insta360 Go 2, which has a very convenient hat mount. It's non-permanent if you want it, or you can drill some screws into your hat brim and stuff and permanently ruin a hat if you'd like. Does all this bendy stuff. You can detach it, flip it around if you're right or left eye dominant kind of thing. Yeah, that's pretty much what I use. The app sucks, so just honestly go through your laptop and do the editing.
Cool. What about you, Calvin?
So for third person view, I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I set
Fancy.
it to the 0.5 zoom, so that way like you can see the movement more clearly. That one's pretty self-explanatory if you have an iPhone. But for first person view, I use a super advanced GoPro Hero 3 Plus from 2014. There has no stabilization like built in or anything, so it's kind of a shaky cam when you're running around. But it seems to grab the information I need as far as like I can still tell whether I'm like lagging on my transitions, not looking in the right spots and stuff. And I can still like grab, or like I can see like how my gun's reacting, given my grip or whatever. So even though it's an older camera, like it still works. It's capable, I think, 1080p, maybe more. I don't remember, but it's like completely usable.
Do you think image video stabilization matters for first person or not?
I don't think so.
It looks faster on Instagram if it doesn't stabilize.
Oh,
That's
fair
true.
enough.
Damn
And
it.
that's like
Is
the
that what
most
I'm screwing
important
up?
thing about getting
I've been
first
stabilizing the shit out of my footage.
Yeah, you're making yourself look bad, man.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
that's really slow.
How else are you supposed to make raw time champ look good?
I'm not trying to like watch my video and try to be like,
If you're listening and not watching, just switch over to YouTube for that little part right there.
Yeah, the only bad thing about this camera, because it is older, like the colors, it doesn't really like give like a good definition between the targets and like some berms. So sometimes like the targets will blend in with the berms, unfortunately. But I still think it's adequate, even if it's not the best. I'm just too cheap to buy like a newer GoPro or the equivalent.
it's a perfect segue, Calvin, because I did buy the new GoPro, and I highly recommend everyone not buy one. It is an absolute piece of shit. No, I'm kidding. The footage is okay. Like it's more than okay. But if all you're gonna do is watch this on your phone so you can hate yourself a little more, then it's way overkill. And you have to get a special hat or wear a dorky head mount like Calvin does. It's all bad time. So highly recommend. What's that camera you guys have called?
The go-to.
Go to get that shit. Get. I mean, my neck stays infinitely strong because I LARP with night vision, so it's fine. Everybody else, good luck, because unless you have gigantic neck muscles, you're in trouble.
Okay, so with the GoPros, you know how they have like that fishbowl effect, it makes everything look really far away.
Yeah.
Does the Insta whatever the fuck cameras you guys have do that?
I don't know if it's to the same extent, but it's like it's a wide angle lens.
It's
also.
not it's not as severe.
Because GoPros will make like 3-yard targets look like 15-yard targets. And you look like a boss on Instagram.
And that's important.
Yes.
On the new ones, you can jank with like the, what do you call it, the amount of wide angleness.
Mhm.
But now I'm figuring out take off stabilizations and extreme fisheye, and that's how I get my gram videos to look sick.
Yeah, it's gonna look like
Yep.
you're going really fast on like really
Damn
hard
it.
shooting.
This entire time, thanks for nothing. God
There's
damn.
there's another camera that's out there on the market that some people are using. Jared Clanton and Christian Seiler are both using Opkix. That's OPKIX. And it's another one. It's a smaller mount that actually magnet attaches to like a hat brim. So that's another option that's out there.
Is that like the Henning of hat cams?
I don't know. There's like no image stabilization on it, so maybe not.
Well, the Go 2 is a magnet also.
Yeah, but
Like
it is bigger.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah, I was gonna say. So I
Like
Matt
literally the
said,
size of the Opkix is like the size of your like the first segment of your pinky.
That's
oh,
not where I thought you were going with that, because that's also the size of my wiener.
God. Way to perpetuate the stereotype, Koi. Mine's at least double that.
all right. So I'm gonna stop it. And we can so moving on.
So Koi, I gotta ask you, is it 9 or 45?
Oh, please let it end. So I also use the Insta360 camera, and I like it because it's small, and you know, the hat clip works pretty good, and you don't need any fancy mounts. It just all comes in the box. I was gonna say the only thing I don't like about that, Matt, I don't know if you've run into this, but mine is pretty temperature sensitive. So
Yeah.
like both hot and cold. So I don't know if you'll run into the cold as much like shooting, but I took it skiing a while back, and this was kind of my own fault because I left it like in the little hat clip while I was skiing, but like it stopped working for a while. I assume because it was really cold, because after I like put it in my pocket, it started working again. And then just this past weekend, mine overheated, or maybe the weekend before, but it doesn't matter. Mine overheated in my bag. I think I left like the pocket that it was in was facing direct sunlight.
Yeah.
And when I took it out, it was like uncomfortably hot to the touch, and it obviously wouldn't turn on or anything.
Yeah.
But so it's just something to
like
keep
with
in
a lot
mind.
of the miniature cams like Opkix and Insta360, consider like putting it into your case and then putting it into the deepest part of like your shooting bag or whatever. That way it stays cool. Otherwise, like you try to turn it on, it's not going to record video because it's way too hot.
Yeah, and I've had mine. I also think because it got hot, but maybe not quite to the extent. But I've had mine cut off like in the middle of the stage, and it's kind of annoying because like you feel it vibrate. So I mean it's not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit distracting when you're mid stage, and like because it buzzes at you when it turns off. And so yeah, just keep in mind. I would still recommend the camera, but you kind of have to be conscious in like the dead of summer and the dead of winter, what you're doing with it when you're not using it, to make sure it doesn't get too overheated or too cold.
Well, too cold. Maybe if you're up north or in the mountains, but not here in Texas.
Yeah, I will say I have not had it get too cold in Texas. It was the only time that's happened was skiing, so I don't really foresee that being like a shooting issue. But just in case people shoot in the really cold, I don't know. But yeah, so and I, like everybody else, I just hand my cell phone to somebody for a third person if I remember to.
So let's talk about the real topic around that. When you're looking for someone to record your video, at what age bracket do you think, no, I'll find somebody else?
It depends if you want portrait or landscape. If the person is how do I say this? If the person is the type of people that you see borrowing at major matches, you're going to get a portrait video.
And also, don't forget, like, if you think they're in that demographic, you might want to tell them to wait until your make ready is over, or else you'll have like 4 minutes of just
Dude, it's just
random
you.
shit.
I'll record all 10 minutes of your fucking make ready every time, just so you know.
That's better than getting like 3 seconds after the timer went off. I've had that happen before, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I've had a guy start recording before I even stepped up to the shoot, like the start position.
You're like in your car in the parking lot. He's like,
I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Bro, it's fuck long.
Oh man. Well, any other last comments on camera or camera size as it relates to your body parts?
Just
Mine's
considering
I
that
just
these things do cost like 300 plus.
not if you buy one from 2014.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I think moving on to the next. I think this was a listener question too. But I guess it's what footwear do we use, and does that depend on different range surfaces? I assume was the question. So I'm gonna call on Calvin first this time. What you got for us?
I use these Asics trail shoes. They're just like trail shoes for running on trails. They have like some kind of aggressive-ish tread on them. I used to be more picky about like shoes and like different surfaces. Now I just wear those and they work well enough for everything I do. I'm not that picky. I don't know. That's not like what's holding me back. There's so many other things holding me back that like the trying to optimize a shoe to the surface isn't like a major concern of mine. As long as I don't slip, that's like all I care about.
Cool. What about you, Coy?
So I've just been wearing Salomons, like the what do you call it? I can't even remember what they're called
Speed
now.
cross.
It's the same one, yeah, Speed Crosses. Like whatever their latest version is, I just buy that, and I've been wearing them for like years and years. But I feel confident saying that this is not the deciding factor in practical shooting performance.
It's not.
I feel I feel compelled to share this because I've shamefully opened up my Instagram to watching someone that is infinitely better at me at shooting shoot with Crocs or flip flops. So
All right, Matt. What do you like to wear to matches?
Every now and then I'll shoot an indoor match, so it's usually just whatever everyday shoe I have. And then for anything that's outdoor, whether it's dirt, gravel, sand, what have you, I like the on running. I forget what it's called, but it's whatever their latest and great or Cloud Venture Peak. That's the one. It's got some nice lugs that dig into the ground, and it's sturdy enough to at least last a year. That's primarily what I like.
Cool. So I just wear like.
Lovingly named the DQ shoe.
Oh yeah, the logo looks like that. Well, so I just wear.
Remember, you can't be DQ'd if you already have it.
Oh yeah, that. I don't think that's real, but so I just wear cheap football cleats. I think they were like $30 at Academy.
Football
and
or football?
Football, like the American version. But I like, well, you could probably wear any cleats, but the reason I got those is they just go a little higher up on my ankles, and so I feel a little bit more sure-footed in them. And I think so I used to wear those trail running shoes, and they were really great, but they make the tread on those super soft. And so I was just like, I wore out the pair of shoes in like one season, and I didn't really want to keep buying shoes every season. So I just went to football cleats, and I've been using the same $30 football cleats for at least 2 years now, and they're still a little bit, but they're still pretty solid. And I mean, they're cheap and they're durable and they're really grippy. So as long as they're not on concrete or some type of smooth surface, they're great.
Yeah, I had some issues. I used to wear similar cleats to what you have, and if you had to step on like a metal surface or something, or like a wooden beam, like sometimes you have like those balance beams you gotta shoot on, and if it's like remotely wet at all, it slips.
That's the only thing you have to watch out for. So one thing, I guess I can add this little tidbit if anyone's thinking about cleats. So they make generally, like regardless of brand, if you go look at football cleats, they have some that have like hard plastic spikes, and then they have some that are more of like a rubberized plastic spike, if that makes sense. Like the hard plastic ones, like you can't dig your fingernail into, and the rubberized plastic ones you can like indent with your fingernail a little bit, but they're still pretty tough. So the rubberized ones are slightly better on like those balance beam or like those type of surfaces. You're still like you still have not as good of a grip on those type of surfaces as like the trail running shoes. So you still have to be careful. But I would definitely not get the hard plastic spikes, because if you ever run into that, it's like you're on ice skates. But yeah, I mean, I try not to overthink that. I just like the cleats because they're grippy on gravel and dirt, which is the majority of what I shoot on, and they were literally like $30.
Moral of the story: if you don't know what shoe to get, just bring whatever running shoes you have.
Yep. All right, cool. So I think this is probably the hopefully the most interesting question we have tonight, and that is if cost was no consideration as far as equipment goes or ammo goes or anything like that. If cost was no factor, what division would you shoot? So Coy gets to go first this time. I already picked.
No, Connor, you go the first this time.
Okay, I'll go first. So as you guys know, I normally shoot production. I really like production. If cost was no factor, I would shoot carry optics. I think that's kind of the no-brainer division to go into right now, regardless of cost. And then it's kind of nice that it's at least cheaper than like limited and open.
But
At least
ammo's
until
no object in this question, dude.
Money's no
Yeah.
object. Why the fuck do you pick the open pores?
Because I don't want to shoot open. I was getting to that. So I would pick carry optics because I think at the majority of matches, including locals, there's like always heat in carry optics. Open's pretty competitive all the time too, but like so is carry optics. So the other nice part is I just think it's cool shooting like normal style guns, however you define those. So or at least slightly more normal than a full blown 2011. So I don't know why I think that's cool. I just like it. So if it were me, regardless of cost, I'd probably shoot carry optics.
I take exception to that, Connor. I don't know anybody that carries a 60-ounce thumb rested double single.
Well, I don't do that either.
Fire
so,
for effect, CZ shadows.
yeah.
Oh, now we're
Slide
now,
guns.
now we're really playing the call out game, huh?
Yeah, I feel like that was directed at someone. But yeah, no, I would agree. I don't carry my competition gun, although I don't use a thumb rest or a milled slide for the record. But
Are you even trying then, Connor?
no, not really. But yeah, so I don't carry it, and carry optics is kind of a stupid name, but that's probably my favorite division currently. All right, who's up next? Coy. Let's go. What division?
Is this even fair? I would shoot super open.
Yeah, I was about to say you already shoot the most expensive division, so clearly cost is not a factor.
I would shoot super open, and by that I mean I would buy
PCC?
factory. No, hell no. Actually, PC is probably one of the cheapest divisions to shoot, to be honest.
I mean,
But
if you want a
that's
burst
tangent.
firing gun every other trigger pull, yeah.
You what? Yeah, right. I would shoot if costs were no factor whatsoever. I would shoot 38 super comp, factory ammo, and not pick anything up. It's definitely
What a baller.
relatable.
That's a good plan. Not having to reload or pick up cases that would be awesome.
That's
you
pretty
imagine?
baller.
Can you imagine? Like, I think it's like 50 cents a round or something like that for a commercial super comp.
Yeah.
That's good nuts.
Yeah.
like
Ely's
every
selling
build-
at like 50 cents a round.
Yeah, every build drill's $3.
So I think we've talked about this before, but I mean, there's really no such thing as a cheap division anymore, right? Because imagine some fuckhead MD puts out a 32 round field course. If you use stupid people math, you're in for $16 of shooting no matter what.
Yeah, I think especially you can look at the cost of the equipment, and there's definitely a difference depending on what division you go with, but the difference gets pretty small after you've been in the sport for a long time. Like the ammo is the bigger issue, and like open major ammo is going to be more expensive than like production or carry optics ammo, but like even 9 minor adds up pretty fast. All right, Matt, you're up.
Carry
Regardless of
optics,
cost.
I can just buy any gun off the shelf, slap a dot on it, go into Walmart, just make it rain dollar bills and get all the 9mm and then go to a match.
Yep, I agree. The
Wait, you
normal
still actually
equipment is pretty cool.
You
What?
actually still buy your ammo from Walmart?
No.
Can you buy ammo from Walmart? Like, I don't know if they ever have 9mm in stock.
No, not currently. If anything, it's just 30-06.
I see 22 and 308 and 30-06.
You guys are making me reminisce like an old person about back in my day when we could just go to Walmart before the match. Thanks for
Back
that.
in like the early days of like band scares, back when we had a different president, basically the same ones we have now, but
Were they white or black?
We'll say
Wait,
this
what?
is like the 2008 time frame, 2008, 2009.
Are we,
I remember like
are we still talking about the ammo?
yeah. No, I was in college at the time. Yeah, we're still talking about ammo, I think.
All right, I'm gonna stop it.
Jesus. Yeah,
All right,
but
Calvin,
did you
how
guys
about you?
not do Walmart runs at like 2 a.m. to buy ammo in like 2009?
They've always
No, I was still in
like-
high school at the time.
Because that was the only time you can get it. But they would like unload the trucks at some random like weird ass times. They'd have ammo on the shelf at like 2 a.m. At least the one in West Lafayette.
The few times I've tried to buy it at Walmart, it was like in a glass case that was locked, and I spent like 30 minutes just trying to find someone to open it,
Oh yeah, it's a
and
pain in
then
the dick.
vowed to never do that again.
But when no one else has ammo, and then you see it there, you're like, well, I have no other choice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So going back to division of choice, Calvin, what would you choose if money were no object?
Dude, I'd fucking have like a new infinity for every match I shoot. Like, to make sure that shit doesn't break.
But
And
then
I
everyone on your Instagram, you get even more comments on Facebook and Instagram how the only reason you can do that is because you're shooting some fancy pants race gun.
I don't give a fuck. I have like unlimited whatever open guns I want. No, I think it's really cool to be able to shoot like the rawest form of shooting and taking like all the equipment out of it. Like everyone just has the best shit they can possibly get. I think that's super cool because then it's like essentially becomes like human against human, as opposed to like, I mean, I guess in production or carry optics, like it's still like it's not supposed to be a gear race, but it kind of is because you've got guys with stock blocks against dudes with milled Shadow 2s with thumb rests and brass grips and whatever. But like in open, like if you want to have a chance at being a top, you want the best shit. So everyone has the best shit.
It's
But
a
there's
game.
people
It's a
shooting,
game of how fast you are, or whether or not your slider comp crack.
Yeah, there's people shooting Berettas against Infinities and Tanfoglios against Infinities, maybe even some CZs.
If you ask them how they feel about it, they'll tell you.
Are you
so-
telling me that someone who's really good at open and shoots a Beretta doesn't like it? Is that what you're implying?
I didn't say that. I said they'll give you an opinion about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if the best open gun is a 2011. It seems like they have the most support here in the States. But maybe if I had unlimited money, I would like just pay an R&D team to make some like ultimate open gun. That's
So
like from the
here's-
ground up.
Yeah, I guess if you had unlimited money, you could have like 5 backup guns too. So maybe this isn't
Yeah.
an actual consideration. But one of the annoying parts about those custom guns too is like, let's say you break like anything, like an extractor or whatever. You can't just like go to the store or go online and order one and drop it right in. So again, if you have like unlimited money, then you can have unlimited backup guns or whatever. So maybe that doesn't matter. But like you have to like go to the trouble of sending it back to the dude who built it or finding someone local who knows what they're doing and like, can you fit this part in and make sure it works and all that other stuff. That seems like that's one of the reasons that it kind of isn't as interesting to me.
If you have unlimited money, you could buy like a bajillion rounds of whatever and have all the guns tuned for that ammo. Or you could have a custom reloader make ammo for you that the way you like it. And it's like you have infinity rounds Infinity rounds for your Infinity.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so let's say
for you.
your gun breaks or whatever, and now it's like even if you can pay for it and it's no big deal, you still have to like mail your gun back to whatever old dude made it or find someone, so it's like
Yeah, but you
there's
have
a little
unlimited
bit
money.
of
You just have a bajillion of them. Like you
well,
just have
yeah,
stacks of them ready to roll.
so maybe you're not out of a gun for a minute, but there's a little bit of hassle involved there that's not involved with off-the-shelf guns.
Haven't you had a trigger return spring and a slide
Yeah.
slot break on you?
Yeah, but you can just drop a new one in. It's still annoying, but I don't have to like mail the
Yeah.
gun back to CZ to have one custom fit.
Dude,
Yeah, you know why I
if you have
shoot block.
unlimited money, you can just throw your open gun away and just use the other ones.
Well,
Who cares?
fair enough.
I like where your head's at, Calvin. I'm gonna put in my next orders at Infinity.
Yeah. Are y'all's Infinities not disposable? Like,
Yeah, they have expiration dates on them.
well, any other final thoughts on this topic?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. Well, that's all we had tonight. So thanks for listening and stay tuned for next time.
Yay!